podcast on City of Fallen Angels much, much later than it should have been out. But in our defense, I'm going to go with School and Bleh.
School and Bleh.
School and Bleh.
School and Bleh and work and
just scheduling issues. I wasn't completely dormant though. I posted a couple of videos. They just probably weren't the ones you were looking for. But you got them anyway because
fuck you.
Bleh, my channel. So this is our episode on City of Fallen Angels, arguably behind City of Glass, one of the most problematic yet boring books of the trilogy. At least you could say in City of Glass we remembered what happened, but
not in this one.
Not in this one. Literally, like
Clare gets stabbed in this book, and we didn't even remember.
I vaguely remember Jace having problems and stabbing, but
like I even read over it and went, I just don't remember this happening. And how joyous is that occasion? She got stabbed.
Yeah, she got stabbed, and like, I mean, how boring does a book have to be for Clary Frey to get stabbed and for someone not to remember it? I mean, fucking hell.
But that's only one of the millions of problems that we obviously, we wouldn't be us if we didn't have millions of problems with these books, but
with the synopsis, yay, it's so fucking long and I have to read through it, but in the wee paragraph at the start on Wikipedia, we found something beautiful. It said, City of Fallen Angels is the fourth book in the Model Instrument series by Cassandra Clare. The series was meant to end with City of Glass. It was announced in March 2010 that a fourth book would be added, with Cassandra Clare later saying that she views this as a second trilogy in the series. This book was released on April 5th, 2011. A second series, a second trilogy in this series, like
they weren't even supposed to be connected as the same sort of saga of books. They're just two separate trilogies, just with the same characters. I mean, that's all her books anyway. That's, different titles, same characters. But
I thought it was just speculation that City of Glass was the last book, but no,
it
legitimately was supposed to be, and then
she's like, bling bling,
money, 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 must be funny.
I'm a turtleneck.
Right.
We could do a little we're gonna read the synopsis for everyone who's trying to familiarize themselves back with the plot, but I suppose you could do one of those little things where you put the number when you're done reading, and people could just skip ahead to that.
Yeah, I don't know if those work anymore though, because they don't do annotations anymore. Well, YouTube's useless.
You'll get it.
I'll put the number up anyway, but you're gonna have to go there yourself. This is just a
dragging the mouse.
I know, so much work. How dare we ask someone drags the mouse? But yeah, I'll put the number up when I finish the synopsis. This is I basically do this for anyone who's like us and can't actually remember. And with Fallen Angels, I really don't blame you, because
what happened in this book?
Pretty much the ending was the only important part of this book, and
where have we heard that before? The book before this, perhaps, or the book before that?
Basically, the ending of this book is basically the only
significant part in the
book. Literally, it makes sense if this is what she wanted the villain to be, but literally the rest of the book is just fa. We have our new villain. So
character for the plot. Oh, look, another character. Here's all the characters you didn't care about.
They're back, these characters doing things and saying stuff
and being in love with people, and you don't care.
And you bet they'll all be fucking useless.
You bet they'll all be straight. That'll be a thing. But yes, they're all there doing things that no one really cares about. They kind of coexist with the original characters, but even then you don't give a lot of shits. I mean, Magnus and Alec get dragged back in, but they're even barely there.
Oh, they're barely there, and when they are there in this book, oh boy! Oh boy indeed!
All the lumps you'll grow on your flesh for reading that will be outstanding. But, yes,
let's get with the synopsis. As I say, I know this is probably boring for the people who remember, but this is just in case people are like us and couldn't remember a fucking thing.
You still can't really remember a fucking
thing.
I'll
put the number up. Skip here if you want to start the analysis. Okay, let's go. Let's just get this over with. It's so fucking long. Let's just do this, right?
Do it fast forward, fast forward the editor.
Just fast forward through it, and did you get that? Good. Right. It starts with Simon, because this is where Simon starts becoming Gary Stu.
Fuckboy territory, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, major fuckboy territory, and Cassandra Clare actually defends this fuckboy territory, which I'll discuss when we reach there, because it's fucking hilarious what happens, but then this happened in IRL, so it makes it even more funny, so... Right, I need to stop procrastinating, let's do this, right? Simon receives an offer from a vampire named Camille Bilcou, who claims to have been usurped. Got there in the end. Who claims to have been usurped by Rafael Santiago. She says that if Simon joins her side as the Daylighter, he will finally earn his place in the Vampire Society. After his meeting, he returns home, worried about what his mother would think, as she has been suspicious since he went to Idris and City of Glass and did not return for a few days. Although Magnus Bane erased memories of his absence, she was still subconsciously suspicious about his whereabouts.
My son's gone for a couple of days, hasn't got in contact with me.
I'm more concerned about the fact that she can still remember after having her memories wiped. That makes no sense.
Yeah, but this is the same book that if you're like possessed by a devil, it's okay, you know. We'll get to that. We'll ruin a song for you. It'll be okay.
As Simon tries to adjust to his life as a vampire, he is attacked a couple of times. Each time the Mark of Cain works and the attackers are killed or flee in terror. Anyone who tries to attack him quickly meets with a biblical sevenfold death. After coming home after one such attack, his mother confronts him about the blood she has found hidden in his closet, and he is forced to tell her what he has become. She believes that he is no longer her son and begins to pray. Desperate, he tells her that it's a bad dream, and she surprisingly believes him with the help of his persuasion powers as a vampire. Knowing that he can't go back to his mother's house, he moves in with his new band member, Jordan Kyle. When Jace comes to Simon's apartment, he meets Kyle and realises that Kyle is, in fact, a werewolf. Meanwhile, Jace has been having dreams in which he murders Clare, which has led to stress between the two of them, leading Jace to avoid her instead of having a mature conversation about what's going on.
Because, as we all know, if we're with a significant other who we love as much as they claim to love each other, you wouldn't trust in them enough to talk about your problems and have their support and help to help you get over them. No!
You ignore them, that's how
Just
it works!
avoid them and the problems will sort themselves out.
You need artificial drama, people.
You know, the drama that they had throughout the other books, and now they have more drama because plot.
People don't talk. What are you talking about?
They can have mature conversations. Here, I'm having some really disturbing dreams, and I think I need real help. I might be a shadow hunter, but it might help to talk about these dreams and why they're worrying me. Then you know it's not you, it legitimately is me, and you don't feel bad, and then you don't fuck your brother again. So, or your best friend, or Isabel.
Sadly, this scenario does not apply to everyone. Because not everyone fucks their brother. But, where were we? This, of course, leads Clary to worry about what is going on between them. Clary and her mother Jocelyn also discover that someone is trying to create more demonic children like Sebastian when they see a baby with clawed hands and black eyes at the hospital, which Jocelyn has trouble coming to terms with. At one of Simon's band concerts, it literally has the...
like quotation marks around it, like,
yeah.
We know it's not really a concert, but she wrote it as one and we're humouring her. We're only Wikipedia, we know.
At one of Simon Band's concerts, Simon runs off stage ill from lack of blood consumption. Maureen, a 14-year-old and the band's only fan, follows Simon and asks for his picture. Halfway through taking it, Simon bites her and drinks her blood, but is thankfully interrupted by Kyle. At the concert, after the incident with Maureen, Simon is confronted by May and Isabel. They are furious at him as he has never told either of them that he is dating both of them. Halfway through the argument, Kyle shows up. Before he can say anything, May recognizes him. It turns out that Jordan Kyle is actually May's ex-boyfriend who turned her into a werewolf. She attacks him only to be stopped by Simon and Isabel. The day after that, they receive a message saying someone was holding Simon's girlfriend hostage and he should go save her. Calling up Clary, Isabel and Maya, Simon determines it's a joke, only later to find the caller was actually referring to Maureen, who would always claim to be Simon's girlfriend at concerts. Maureen was killed when Simon did not show up to save her.
We care because...
Yeah. Clary then goes to the church at Talto, only to find herself fighting a Hydra demon and was later helped out by Isabel.
Because she sucks.
She sucks major ass. Jace and Clary have an intimate moment in one of the spare rooms in the Institute. On the point of taking the step in their relationship, Jace injures Clary with a knife. Disturbed by his recent nightmares, Jace breaks down and admits that he's been having nightmares and that was the reason why he was avoiding Clary. Clary then offers to take him to the Silent City to get help from the Silent Brothers. There, the Silent Brothers say that the nightmares Jace is having is due to his vulnerability to demonic influence, which occurred after Jace was resurrected by the Angel Raziel after Valentine had stabbed him. All the Shadow Hunters are subject to a ritual to protect them as infants. As Jace died, it was like he had been reborn without the protection. The brothers want to perform the ritual again to give him the protection. Clary wants to stay with Jace, but the Silent Brothers make her leave. In his cell, Jace realizes that he is having a dream that he is back in Idris. Max appears to Jace and says that the dreams mean that Jace is actually hurting Clary. Jace cuts his arm after Max convinces Jace that he will destroy the rotten part of him. With his blood, Max, who is actually the demon Lilith, draws a rune on his chest which allows him to be under Lilith's influence. Jocelyn and Luke, now engaged, attend an engagement party. Clary disappears after being kidnapped by Jace, to which no one else knows about yet. He has lied to Clary about leaving the Silent Brothers early. Jace tells Clary about a rune that binds them to one another forever. Clary accepts and hands him her stele. He begins to draw a rune, but Clary finds out too late that this is not the rune he told her about as she begins to lose consciousness, with Jace catching her and carrying her away. Simon also disappears from the party. He is led away from the party by Maureen, now a vampire, and is taken to Lilith, who has been alive since the beginning of time. She turned up at one of Simon's band's concerts and introduced herself as a promoter called Citrina. She explains that she needs him to resurrect Sebastian from the dead. When he tells her that he cannot bring the dead back to life, she tells him that he had that power ever since he became a daylighter. In order to persuade him to resurrect Sebastian, she possesses Jace and orders him to kidnap Clary. Jace brings Clary to Lilith and she orders him not to kill Clary if Simon does not resurrect Sebastian. Simon reluctantly bites Sebastian and drains some of his blood. Isabel, Alec, May and Jordan follow Simon to the address on a business card with the name Citrina on it, recognised as the name of Lilith. They found in his wallet. Whenever they get to the building, they look for him on every floor. However, instead of finding Simon, they find the place that Lilith used as her nursery with all the dead children. Every one of them has clawed hands and black eyes, like the one Clary and her mum saw at the hospital. The babies were the outcome of Lilith trying to make half-demon children like Sebastian. While going through the room, Isabel notices someone in the corner and attacks that person, and it turns out to be the mother of one of the babies, who then explains to him what happened. Meanwhile, Clary tricks Jace by saying she does not wish to watch, and he embraces her. She then grabs Jace's knife and cuts the rune that Lilith is using to possess him on his chest, causing Jace to be freed from Lilith's control. Jace tells Clary to run away and believes that she did, but then Lilith reveals that Clary stayed and starts torturing her with a whip. Jace tells Lilith that he'll do what she wants if she lets Clary go, but Lilith wants and intends to torture Clary to madness. The third time that she goes to hit Clary, Simon kills Lilith by throwing himself between Lilith and Clary, so Lilith hits Simon instead of Clary, inflicting the mark of Cain on herself. The Clave appears at the scene, and Isabel goes downstairs to tell them the story of what happened, while Jace is waiting for them upstairs. Jace and Clary share an intimate moment up on the roof. Jace is ashamed of his actions, despite literally having no control over himself. Clary tells him that she loves him no matter what happens, and the two of them share a kiss. She then goes down to the lobby to meet her mother, Luke, Simon, Maya, Alec and Magnus, and Isabel, promising to come back in 5 minutes. It concludes with Jace's rune healing, hearing Sebastian's voice in his head, and with Sebastian/Jonathan now in control of Jace, Jace is forced to finish the awakening ritual on Sebastian, who is now wholly and fully alive. Boy, what a mouthful.
What Clary's used to them.
It literally gave me cancer, like, reading that. Right. Where to start with this shitstorm, huh?
I guess with Jace and Clary? Well, what have you got first there?
Well, the first bullet point is appearance of Camille. So, because literally the start of the book is her propositioning Simon, like, hey, you're a daylighter. I want you on my team. You Gary stew you.
So let's begin with that.
Right. The appearance of Camille's in this book, and Camille is just
awful.
She's built up to be like this big, like, powerful vampire, and how she leaves this second trilogy, let's just say, is completely lackluster. It is sadly not in this book, so we can't discuss it.
It's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing for, like, someone to be, like, built up to, like, so powerful, and then it's just like, no, she's gone. You're like, what? But yeah, Camille shows up. She propositions Simon, and it's like, yeah, you're a daylighter now, you're all powerful, I want you on my team, because now that Simon is a daylighter, he is basically Gary Stew, because daylighter with the mark of Cain,
so rare,
so he can't be attacked, he can walk in sunlight, and apparently he can raise people from the dead.
Don't know where.
Because
can the mark of Cain? No, wait, it's the daylight.
It's the daylighter thing that means he can raise people from the dead.
All that creative liberty you have when you make up like your own version of things.
I feel tempted to point out Max again, but I shan't, because That was a whole thing
No,
in the previous.
Yeah, that was too much.
So yeah, Camille shows up. She's all powerful. She's a dangerous vampire. She's like, hey. And as soon as she shows up, basically, she is the beginning of the end for Malec. And I say beginning of the end for Malec because even though, if you've read the books, you know that when they break up, they do get together eventually. But that's at the end of the very thing. So this is basically the beginning of the end for Malec, and we will discuss that when we're talking about Malec. But basically, so Camille basically appears, and Clare tries to write it in this way that she's like, she has other things going on. She wants Simon to show up. She wants Simon to use him, and she wants to use him for her side. But ultimately, Camille's point in these next few books is to become the detrimental tool in leading up to the breakup of Malec.
That's it.
Because as soon as she meets Magnus, she does nothing else but interfere with their relationship.
Like, she's got nothing better to do with her time.
Yeah, like, literally, like, she sees, oh, this ex I had hundreds of years ago is going out with a shadow hunter now. I must destroy it!
My whole life! Because, you know, she's what?
Well, it said ancient on the wiki.
Ancient.
So, beside age, it literally said ancient, so she's like, okay.
She's ancient, she has time to kill, you know? Let's break up this couple for shits and giggles.
Yeah, like, we'll talk about the Malec stuff when it comes to it, but basically, Camille shows up. You're supposed she's covered in this like thin veil of plot that's meant to make you think, oh, she's really after Simon, but the Magnus and Alec thing just slowly goes in her way, kind of thing, and you're like, no, you were here as a friggin' interferer. You're an antagonist in the relationship of Malec, which I don't appreciate, Clare. And basically, that is your entire point, especially since you exit so quickly. Once this goal has been achieved, you're gone. You're literally gone. You're done. Like,
Casserole is as subtle as an onion amongst cupcakes. Like, she just thinks she's so. She's getting away with everything she's doing, but you know, you're not. They like Magnus and Alec come back from a holiday they were shipped off to just to come back to Camille going, I dated him once. You know, he was very feisty.
what?
Or you knew him. You know, Magnus was a slut.
Oh, right, okay.
And
We'll talk about that when we get to the Malec shit, but like, yeah, that's basically it. But Camille, I liked, when I was writing fanfiction, I liked writing Camille, but I liked writing her as a villain that had other things to do with her time than worrying about her exes and who they're dating. But that's basically these books. It's who's dating who's jealous of who loves who wants to be with who wants to fuck who wants to do this with who, and who wants to be in a relationship. Because as I've said multiple times on my Tumblr, the romance genre these days in YA books is totally lacking. We all need romance.
Yep.
There's no other thing to write about. Like,
in these books about demons and angels, heaven and earth, humans and shadow hunters, all trying to coexist, but ultimately coming into this big eternal battle. Yeah, I need to know if the ginger fucks the blonde. Like, I have to know.
It's so important. Like, literally, like, you can kind of tell from the fans of these books. I don't have a problem with people, because loads of people come to me and say, oh yeah, I know the books are problematic, but I still enjoy them. Fine. You know, if someone said that to me, fine. I respect that, you know? Mm-hmm. No problem. But, like, there are people who would, like, praise the ass out of the book, and then, like, I'm part of a Mortal Instruments group on Facebook, and, like, a teaser came out for Shadowhunters. All they can focus on is the fact that Clary may or may not have fucked Simon before she fucked Jace. And you're like, apparently it's important because she gave her virginity to Jace.
I don't care.
As Niamh said again, angels and demons, shadow hunters, humans, heaven and hell. Who does Clary give her virginity to?
These are the questions that'll keep you up at night wondering.
These are the important questions. But
that.
Yeah, that. So, Parents of Camille, basically this is turning into the Simon show, because the book literally starts with Simon.
What's Simon up to? What's Simon doing?
What's Simon doing?
Because we all cared so much about him, and, like, you know, in all fairness, I quite liked Simon. He was funny. I didn't have too many problems with him, but, you know, other than friend zone, what did he have going for him? He kind of still gets friend zoned throughout the books.
Yeah, very much.
But Casserole's just like, love him. Love him.
Love him. Because as we've discussed,
doing things.
as we've discussed before, Simon is the self-insert, so...
Oh, yeah.
So, the
Love
more
him.
he builds up in importance, and he does snowball into something that really shouldn't exist in these books.
Oh my god.
Like, let's just say he becomes every group. He goes through every possible group in the Shadow World.
Like, if she did her opening and Simon was there, with angels, downloaders, and Shadowhunters alike, he would be sitting there going, yeah.
Yeah, every single one.
But I'm the one here. Even Clare would be sitting broiling in her jealousy of not being the unique one. Simon's just there going, yeah, that's me.
He's literally been a human. He is currently a Downworlder, a special Downworlder, not just any Downworlder. Unique, special, magical Downworlder who can do unique, special, magical stuff. Then he becomes a human again. And then he becomes a Shadowhunter!
It's not like you have to be raised as a Shadowhunter or anything.
Yeah!
You can just become one. That wasn't like a big problem with these books that they kept saying you can't just become a Shadowhunter.
No,
because that's not how it works. But apparently,
because they have the Shadowhunter Academy where you can train
when you're like 20.
That's actually something that Magnus Being Adopted Me brought up. I've been talking to this blog on Tumblr called Magnus Being Adopted Me, and this was supposed to be when we were talking about Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy, but they did point out that Simon wasn't Simon at the academy for 2 or 3 years, which would make him then at least 18 or more likely 19, which is too old. And then him and Clary have become parabatai for some reason when he's too old. Because Claire, me and Niamh are going to like offer up some advice. If you're going to write a world with like so many rules and so many like so many things that go on,
constrictions,
so many different plots and so many different things going on, so many age restrictions, so many rules,
maybe
write them down.
Yeah, just on a fucking post-it note.
Right, get a notebook, write everything that is a rule down so you won't break your own rules. Because I know what it's like to write and here's me talking like we're giving advice here to like a New York Times bestseller woman, but like I understand how hard it is to remember things when I write like big like words. So I have a notebook where I write everything down so I won't break my own rules. I forget my character's eye colour sometimes, for Christ's sake.
I mean, I can imagine Casserole being the type of person to have her characters like portraits everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then just have their descriptions and shit there. And then you're sweet. I mean, she'd probably have Isabel in the cupboard, but like...
No
they
one
would
see Isabel.
Still be there. I mean, she doesn't realise. She forgets her own character's age. Why are we expecting anything more from this woman? She can't remember how old Alec is half the time. I remember she remembered he was gay.
She doesn't even remember Alec's name, for Christ's sake. What's his name? Alfred? Andrew?
Tyler?
Andy?
What's the other one? Oh, wait. Yeah, but you have to make sure you ask permission to use Magnus's name, though. She invented it, after all.
Oh my god. When I heard that Rick Riordan, the guy who wrote Percy Jackson trilogy, an incredibly witty, funny, written for all ages book series, felt the need to ask permission from Cassandra Clare to use the name Magnus. She doesn't own the name! She doesn't own the name! She doesn't own the fucking name!
To be fair, I can imagine her trying to sue him over that.
Well, to be fair, apparently, when he asked her, she went like, oh, I don't own the name, Rick. It's okay. Use it. Go ahead. And then, in his book, he decides that he has to dedicate the book to her. Because Rick! You don't need... Rick!
Rick literally sent you a message saying, it doesn't matter. I don't own the name. You don't have to do shit. And he's like, you know what? This legend, I better say this book is dedicated
Rick,
to her.
you can dedicate the books to who you want, but...
You're the author, but...
I remember hearing that you had done that, and then me and Niamh were in a bookstore a couple of weeks ago, and I saw your book, Magnus Chase, and I was like, oh, please tell me this isn't real.
It was real.
It was real. I looked, and I was like...
It was so real. We saw it with our own eyes.
Don't poison your books with her stuff. You write positive LGBT characters, Rick. You write interesting plots. You're a good writer. Don't get involved with her. She'll ruin it.
She already has.
Don't let her involved. She'll want Nico to be dancing around going, I'm gay. I'm gay. Don't you remember I'm gay?
That's all my character.
So, by the way, It's don't do it to yourself, Rick. Let that be it. Oh.
There's that. On another note, I don't actually own this book. I didn't buy it. It's hers. I don't own it, and I feel great for saying that.
Barely touched again. I legit have only read these books once.
But we have the liberty to piss all over them.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we have a quote from the Wall Street Journal. The people who claim that PewDiePie is a Nazi.
Oh my god.
Wow.
They know what they're talking about.
They know what they're talking about. And right below there's Stephanie Meyer again. They felt the need to bump down Stephanie Meyer for the Wall Street Journal.
Stephanie Meyer's same quote, might we add, because she only read the blurb of the first book and that was enough.
The Queen of Fantasy, Wall Street Journal. I totally believe what you say. You're so legit.
You know what you're talking about. You have all the facts. You're basically Fox News. Like, you know what you're talking about.
I mean, fuck, we all know PewDiePie's a Nazi. Like, I mean...
Like, he loves Hitler. Seek
does.
hail. Wrong one.
Well done. I mean, like, he wore those glasses once. Like, they were, like, Hitler's glasses. I mean, like, what more do you need?
Like, he basically has a swastika on his nose. We don't actually think PewDiePie's a Nazi.
No, we actually don't.
Case.
Yeah, we don't.
You know those SJWs in the background going, yes, I knew someone believed me. No, we don't.
I still watch PewDiePie every day, so yeah.
Go PewDiePie, you know what you're doing, mate.
Next bullet point I have here is entrance of Jordan Kyle.
Who?
Jordan.
Oh.
Jordan Kyle. You knew Jordan, you were talking about him earlier.
Yeah, but like...
You were like, isn't this the one where Jordan comes in?
I know, but like, he's still so forgettable.
Jordan is basically... Maya, I can't remember if when Maya first comes in, she talks about the mysterious evil person who turned her into a werewolf. I think she does.
Mm-hmm.
And Jordan comes in, he's a werewolf, and then you find out, no, he's not just a werewolf, he's that evil werewolf who turned Maya into a werewolf.
He was her boyfriend as well!
So shocked!
I mean, she's totally not going to pursue that in any kind of way, right?
I mean, basically, like, he turned her into a werewolf, like, he ruined her life, but they're still going to be together, obviously.
I mean, he's hot.
He's hot, yeah.
They have this, like, weird shower scene.
Oh, I don't think that's in this book.
It's still so uncomfortable.
I think it's in the next book, but...
we'll get to that later on.
But yeah, Jordan Kyle comes in. He's a werewolf, he's the one who turned Maya. Maya is with Simon, so you think, oh, well, you know, maybe not, then together. Why? 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 Why?
Because, ladies and gentlemen, I will get into a rant later on in the books, because I had this rant with Erin before we even started this. Castle Royale can't have independent characters. That is something that does not process in her brain. If you will look through these books, almost everyone, side characters included, bar Isabel's parents, are in relationships. Max probably had someone on the side, but you know, when he was alive. Everyone is fucking someone. And like, it's to a ridiculous point. Like, you introduce someone like, oh yeah, no, and I also had this ex-boyfriend. Oh my lord, he showed up! But I still have feelings for you. They're hillbillies as well. So,
it's basically like American Horror Story. Like, no matter what that person has done, they're still gonna be together. Like, Jordan could have done what that guy Tate did. He could have, like, murdered Maya, I don't know, raped her ma, did all that shit. She'd still be like, I love him.
in all fairness to American Horror Story, she does leave him.
When she finds out about his well, that's something.
She does leave him. Eventually, after she finds out, like, she's dead. But they just no, like, I don't even know if this is worse. It's not as bad as that, but at least she leaves him in these books. She's just like, you ruined my life. I had to leave my family and everything, like, because, you know, I'm woo.
Why is she overly English? They're in New York.
She is. All right. Fuck you. That's why. And then she's just like, but you know what? Shower time. We're both dirty. We should get dirty together. So there's that. That's basically what Jordan's there to do that.
He doesn't do much else. He's Simon's new bandmate who Simon moves into when his mom rejects him. So he doesn't do much. He's basically Simon's new roommate who Simon moves in with once his mom rejects him.
Brings in conflict for Maya.
Yeah, brings in conflict for Maya.
And it makes it easier for Simon to choose who he'll be with. So there's no, like, grown-up decisions there.
Oh,
One of
yeah.
them's taken away, so the alternative is what he's left with. He can't just be like, you know, some people can argue he always liked Isabel, but, and Maya was, like, a second option or whatever your argument is. He didn't have to make that decision himself, like the bitch from that book you don't like, who ended up with both of them.
Oh, you mean the Infernal Devices?
Yeah, she didn't have to make a decision herself because it was given to her. She didn't have to be a grown-up and go, you know what? This person rather than this person for this reason and why and how. It was, Maya was taken away, and so he was like, yeah, Isabel, you're left. So, and Isabel's like, you know what? Yeah, you're a good guy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You 2-timed me, but you're faithful. We can do role playing.
Those bullet points are there, like, eventually about the 2-time and dating thing, so we will talk about that more, because, as I say, there's some IRL stuff that happened because of that. But, next thing, murderous dreams! Jace has murderous dreams about Clare, and instead of having an adult conversation about these murderous dreams, he decides to ignore her and not tell her what's going on. Because, drama!
That's what adults do.
You need drama. I mean, like if they had sat down and had a mature conversation with the fact that Jace was having murderous dreams, and they wouldn't have how long it dragged on in the books of maybe 20-30 pages, there would have been 20-30 pages of drama where you're like, what's gonna happen? Are they gonna get back together?
I can't tell. It's not like it was built up in the last 3 books of them getting together and then they get together and more conflict is brought up because they need conflict.
They weren't going to have Jace come back from the fucking dead by Clary's wish just for them to break up in the next book. That was not going to happen. I mean,
I don't believe that was stupid.
I wasn't smart enough when I was reading this for the first time to actually think about that, but
now we do think about it.
She wasn't going to say, oh yeah, because she's basically done the ultimate thing. She's had Clary wish Jace to come back to life above everyone else she could have wished to come back to life. There's nothing that could them to possibly go, he's dead now, because that wouldn't happen. For one thing, it would be very lackluster and it would fall flat on Claire's part anyway. So
her trying to initiate that kind of conflict in the book, it didn't work. And the funny thing is, she could have gone for any other kind of, I don't know, problem. Anything else would have been interesting rather than something like, yeah, just have to ignore her. Why couldn't they have got into a grown-up fight?
Yeah, you can fight.
They're not, nobody's perfect. As much as she wants to try and make you believe these characters are perfect, no one is. People get into fights, and I think it would have been much more interesting to read a real fight happening between
couples
them.
Fight. It's like
even if Jace was a dick and, like, I don't know, they were going on a demon hunt, and he's like, Clara, you can't come, you're not a real shadow hunter.
Mm-hmm.
And then she gets upset about that, and, something a little more than just, has bad dreams.
That's something else. Clary finally gets her finger out of her arsehole and starts training in this book.
Which, she still sucks.
For like 5 minutes. There's a training scene.
She has like one training scene. She's like, well, I'm a shadow hunter now, so.
Like, it was like a training scene of her like jumping off like something.
Beams, wasn't it?
Yeah, jumping off beams, like learning to jump.
Learning to jump, ladies.
Learning to jump off things, and that's pretty much it as far as I recall.
That makes you a shadow hunter.
And even when she goes out to fight demons later, Isabel has to save her arse, so...
Because she's still royally sus.
Because maybe if she had have been training since City of Bones, when she found out she was a shadow hunter, things may have been a bit different.
But no.
No, she couldn't be bothered. She had more important things to do. Her mum was in danger, even though her mum's fucking useless now. No wonder shadow hunters killed her off. Her mum does fucking nothing.
She just sits there and goes, yeah, no.
As Niamh said, I'm glad we woke you up.
But yeah, that's pretty much what's happening. Jace is ignoring her because of his bad dreams. Won't have an adult conversation, so she's sitting there going, what's wrong with me?
Did I do something?
Why doesn't he like me?
I don't understand. He doesn't love me anymore.
Also, Clary, in a nutshell.
Clary's only thoughts are about herself or her love of her life, basically. Her love
Which
of
is still
her life.
for her, though.
Yeah, it's still basically to do with her, so...
There's that.
Yeah, so he's having these dreams, he's making him upset, and because of that he's ignoring Clary, because, that makes no fucking sense. But, alright, we'll bite Clare. Speaking of biting, Simon bites Maureen. Maureen, a child, who he 14 years old, who's in love with his band. He bites her, tries to drink her, gets interrupted, and when he gets interrupted, you think, gosh, I wonder what that means. What does it mean when a vampire bites a human and doesn't get to finish?
I don't know. Should we check every vampire lore almost ever?
Nah. We'll just think she's dead.
So after that, he's interrupted. Maya gets confronted by Jordan.
No, Maya doesn't get confronted by Jordan. No, Simon gets confronted by Maya and Isabel.
Simon gets confronted by Maya and Isabel.
Because he's been dating them both.
Fuckboy level number 2.
Now, the defense that people have for Simon in this particular situation is Simon couldn't choose. He couldn't choose between the two of them.
That makes adultery okay.
Yeah, adultery is when you're married. You literally see him get drunk and sing outside Isabel's window in these books and all that crap because he's in love with her or whatever, and then suddenly he's dating Maureen and he can't choose.
Maya.
Suddenly he's dating Maya and he can't choose, and you're like, but we all, again, love triangle, we've discussed this before. We know exactly who she's gonna end up with. We know there's no real conflict here. We know he's going to end up with Isabel because Isabel is more of a protagonist than Maya ever was. But in IRL on Twitter, someone tweeted Todd Slapkin a couple months ago. Todd Slapkin is the showrunner of Shadowhunters, the TV show. Someone asked him, is Simon going to be, something along the lines of, is Simon going to date Isabel and Maya at the same time? Because I didn't like that. And Todd Slapkin said, no, he's not. I think we've learned by now the show is different from the books. And he wrote, no, Simon would never do that. And then Cassandra Clare retweeted him and was just like, I hope you're not making fun of the character that millions of people enjoy from the books. And it's like,
out of everything she could defend, that's what she...
And he retweeted back going, oh no, of course not, we love the book fans. And you're like, good save, Todd, good save.
But also lies.
She was literally advocating for them to have Simon be a fuckboy. She was going I hope you're not insulting Simon for doing that. That's what I wrote. That's what I wrote in my books.
If I could be Simon and I could be a whore, I would do it. So
I see nothing wrong with it.
I also see nothing wrong with fucking your brother, but that's frowned upon. So
to be fair, it could be argued that this is the woman who wrote about fucking your brother. So
twice.
So there is that, and she was so salty. It was fucking beautiful. And you're like, oh no, the show are such assholes. They're trying to make Simon be a likable character. He doesn't two-time on two girls. Gah! How dare they? The fiends! They should be writing Simon being a dick. That's how this works, is it not?
Casserole gets to decide exactly how her characters are written into the TV show. She has nothing to part of.
Yeah, she's salty about the show all the time anyway. It's just, we've all just come to the decision that
we don't care.
That she's just going to continue to be salty because the show does everything better than
the show wanted better plots. When they killed, I remember Erin saying when they killed Jocelyn, imagine just Casserole watching it going, fuck, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, fuck, why didn't I do that?
She just sat there doing nothing anyway, so it would have been smart, but yeah.
Cassandra gave them permission to do it. She said, yeah, you can kill her, and then everyone was just like, how dare they? And you're like, you're Queen Bee! Authorized this, so shut
Why
up.
were they butthurt about it anyway? Jocelyn did fucking nothing.
I know, but I think it was just one of the things. They were looking for excuses for it to go, they're disrespecting the books. You can't disrespect these pieces of shit. They disrespect themselves. This is covered in dust because I barely touched it. They disrespect themselves through how shit they are.
They're just bad books. But yes, Simon two-times Isabel and Maya, and he gets confronted with them both at the end of the concert. Is that the end of the concert?
After he drinks.
Yeah, after he drinks from Maureen, he gets confronted with him, and Jordan's with him, and Maya's just like, oh my god,
you're that guy!
You're my ex-boyfriend. Also, you're the werewolf who turned me. Grrr! And she tries to attack him, and
she gets stopped.
she gets stopped, and then that's a thing.
But you know, later on they're gonna be fucking anyway. So
In the shower.
Is there any real suspense here? I mean, like, she's angry now. She won't be angry, and like.
I thought it would have been much more interesting if you had found out he was just the werewolf, and then maybe later on found out he was an ex-lover. But the fact she immediately went ex-boyfriend. Now you know, it would have been much more interesting to see her being like, they say she was conflicted about her feelings towards him because obviously he destroyed her life, but she also loved him. And then, you know, there's all that bullshit, but like, Casserol's incapable of writing any kind of suspense that isn't predictable and or pointless.
I mean, like, imagine like if she had written Jordan and you grew to like him and enjoy him as a character, and then you found out he was the one who
he was brought in so quickly. Okay, new characters are brought in all the time. That's fine. That's how these books progress. It would get repetitive. It still gets repetitive anyway, but if you still use the original characters, fine. But like Erin says, if they brought in Jordan and you had grown to get some feelings towards him, whether they were negative or positive, you have something towards him. Here, he's just like, oh right,
he's just there.
You're just like, oh okay, but you don't feel the betrayal.
Yeah.
Because he's meaningless.
He's just immediately there to be Maya's ex. If he had been put in there, had plot lines of his own, maybe helped Simon out a couple of times, you grew to like him, grew to dislike him, and then you find out, boom, he's the one who turned Maya, it would have had more impact.
Fuck, even if he showed up in the middle of the war, he was like, if he bonded with one of our original characters, one of the, you know, original group, that could have been something. Then he would at least have some kind of input further on. You could remember him when he returns. He'd have a reason to return.
Yeah.
Because he helped the Shadow Hunters in the war. He feels a bit more accepted. Therefore, he feels more inclined to help Simon, and on it goes. You have reasons to feel things for him. Like you said, when it hits you that he was the one who betrayed Maya, whatever opinions you have of her, she was brought in early enough for you to be able to actually feel something for her. So then you could even feel her betrayal and everything. But no, it's just like,
so rushed.
New character, plot line, here, have it all. And it just doesn't feel...
But then it's just like everything's rushed in this book. The relationships are rushed. Character plot lines are rushed. Everything is just rushed,
like we
rushed,
went over
rushed.
last time, there's no human emotion.
None. Apart from lust. Yeah. But that old great lust.
I just love it. It's not like that's one of the sins, the 7 deadly sins or anything. You know what you get for being lustful? You get spikes in your genitals.
Nice. Just everyone in this book is gonna get spikes in their genitals.
Fucking good!
Do Shadow Hunters even go to hell? They got angel blood.
They probably go to heaven. Unless they fuck a damn wilder. Maybe that's what sends them to hell. Like the ultimate racism.
What? Once again, everyone gets the good draw of the straw except for Alec.
There you go.
For Alec.
Hashtag save Alec from hell. He's
hashtag Alec can't get a break.
But yes, that's the theory at least. Anyway,
because Simon drinks Maureen, someone must have saw her, thought that she was Simon's boyfriend.
We learned a lot about Maureen today.
They must have thought that Maureen was Simon's girlfriend because it says that she goes around telling people at the concert. You don't see her really doing this that often, but apparently she does. Yeah. She goes around telling people that she is Simon's girlfriend because she's a little girl. Little girls do that.
There's no show, so tell not show for Casserole.
I know.
Like, here's something, have emotions about it rather than you could have done one paragraph of Simon seeing her in the crowd going, oh, she must be telling people. I'm her boyfriend again. Like, even if you said, oh yeah, she's pointing at me and talking to people, that would have been more than just saying, oh yeah, she tells people.
Yeah. So, like, she tells people that she's his girlfriend, and because of that, these people, it doesn't really say who. I can't remember who it is. I'm assuming it's Lilith, because Lilith is the one who has Maureen later. I'm assuming it's Lilith, I can't remember. Maureen gets kidnapped, and Simon gets called saying, we have your girlfriend.
Bum bum bum.
If you don't come, we're gonna kill her. And he was just like, okay, well, he called Clare for some reason, even though they're not together anymore. But he calls Clare.
Just to shove that triangle in just a little bit more. Oh my god, she might not be with Jace. She must go with Simon.
I don't even think it was that. I think it was just like...
It's pulling at straws. Like.
Yeah, and so he calls Clare, and he calls Maya, and he calls Isabel, and they're all fine. So he's like, I don't have to worry about this.
He's like, oh, it could just be some random girl they see me with, but her blood won't be on my hands at all.
So, because Simon doesn't bother, Maureen is murdered.
What will he tell her parents?
Maureen, a child, 14 years old, is murdered because Simon couldn't be fucked.
I don't even remember reading much of his remorse for that.
I don't know. I think he had some. Not a great deal. Again, killing children seems to not have a big impact on these characters at all.
She's essentially trying to Game of Thrones it without the emotion.
It's like, they're dead. And you're like,
well,
alright. Do they not feel anything? No?
But that, we can't get in that run again. But yes, Maureen gets killed, and Simon's like, oh, that's shite, but onwards and upwards, weren't they?
And while this is going on, Clary and Jocelyn find a baby with like clawed hands and black eyes in a hospital, and they're like, ew, demon child!
Gross! I mean, we're not racist, but gross.
To be fair, demons are the bad guys, so...
But aren't warlocks part demon?
No, Darnmothers are part demon, but anything that is fully fledged demon is usually...
They're misunderstood.
No, they're not.
How do you know?
Because they murder people!
It's Casserole's world. People murder people in this.
I will give Casserole credit. She has never tried to go, the full demons are misunderstood. Like, I understand that people have a problem with the whole... them saying that things with demon blood are evil because Darnmothers have demon blood, but Darnmothers are only half demon, hence why warlocks have their
eyes.
Their marks. Not even eyes.
What marks?
Marks. Their warlock mark. That's Magnus's eyes. It's why Camarina's blue. It's why Ragnar's green and has his horns.
I remember.
It's an expression of the demon blood that they have because warlocks are different from like vampires and werewolves. Warlocks are created because the demon raped a woman.
Got it. I got
it. So they're a bit different from the rest of them.
Can a female demon rape a man?
They could, but I don't think it's really. It's not really talked about that much. All I know is that
powers in the seed.
Magnus's mother was raped by a demon because you see Magnus's father later on. So,
yeah.
So obviously it was his mum. So they do explore that a bit in Shadowhunters. There's a crazy warlock lady who wants to create more warlocks, so she kidnaps human girls and raped raped by demons.
Tried to get Clary raped.
She tried to get Clary impregnated. So that was interesting. But I suppose a warlock woman could rape a man. It just wouldn't. No, I'm not saying this I do. Men being raped is awful. But when I say that it doesn't have less of an impact here, I mean is in the fact that the man wouldn't have to carry the demon child. It would still be psychologically horrifying, but what I mean is that they wouldn't have to like birth it or anything like that, whereas the human women would. But yeah, that's basically it. Why were we talking about demon blood? Oh, the demon babies. Okay. Yeah, the demon baby. Someone is trying to create a demon baby just like Sebastian. And yeah, they're just basically, Jocelyn's like, oh no, this brings up bad memories.
About, stuff and shit that happened. But I won't tell you because I'm useless.
And so Jocelyn just continues to be fucking useless.
Yeah, that happens. And then they're like, I don't think that'll be interesting to the plot, so we don't really need to bring that up.
That's not a problem yet.
Nah, that's only a dead baby demon thing. No one needs to know. I need to find Jace!
We need to know what's going on with Jace. So, getting back to Jace and Clary get intimate. In Wikipedia, they kept calling it intimate moments.
And then they're about to take the next step in their relationship, which, banging.
And then Jace just like, stab! Fuck.
Mickey.
He's just like, stop! And he stabs her.
He stabs her! He stabs her right in the gut.
I can't remember. Was he fucking her with his weapons on?
Yeah.
Like.
And then I made a joke. Maybe he's impotent.
You're gonna have to explain that.
Okay. It's a criminal hypothesis that, not a criminal. It's a hypothesis that criminals who use stabbing as a method of killing is normally they're impotent, and so it's their, what's the word? Substitute for sex, because they're still getting the penetration, but not with their limp dick. So, it's how they do it. So Jace is like, I can't bone you, so into the kidney it goes. So she's like, yeah, you stabbed me, but how are you feeling?
How are you?
How are you, Jace? And he's just sitting there crying like, I'm sad.
I'm having nightmares.
I'm
Claire.
sad about killing you. I mean, I know your blood's staining the sheets as we sit here, but I've dreamt it. You know, it's in here.
I dreamt that this would happen.
And it did, but I don't really care because I dream about it more. And The dreams just suck. And she's just, like, sitting there holding in her guts, like, yeah, well, we should help you.
We should go to the Silent City.
We should help you.
So they go to the Silent City with no... I don't think there was any explanation. I could be wrong. I don't think there was any explanation.
She just said, like...
Explanation.
They would help?
No, I mean, like, no explanation whatsoever as to Clare being, like, you know, checked up on, like, sewed up or anything. Just...
Maybe they ruined her.
Yeah, they could have ruined her. Good point. Alright, and then they go to the Silent City. Silent brothers are just like, Jace is vulnerable to demonic influence because he was risen from the dead, so he doesn't have that protection anymore.
Which, I will give fairness to Casserole, isn't a complete cop-out. She kind of thought about it. It still feels forced in because it's never been referenced before. But at least it wasn't just so, I don't know, shit. But it's some kind of...
Does that mean that it's the same for Sebastian when he gets risen from the dead, or because he's demonic anyway? Does he get influenced by angels?
Oh. No.
No.
Too smart. Wouldn't happen. But yes, apparently because they go through a certain ritual when they're born to prevent them from having demonic influences. Because, you know, angels are weak. Angels are very weak. So he has to go through the ritual again, and Clary's like, I want to watch. And they're like, no!
Fuck off!
Go outside, you fucking mundane. I mean, they don't talk, so they didn't say that, but like, there's a... If you could, yeah. So she has to leave, and she's like, I have to leave. I'm a shadow hunter. Just like,
I'm a shadow hunter.
She's just like monologuing every few seconds, like, I'm a shadow hunter.
Shadow hunter.
Oh, a demon! In hell!
So Jace is in his cell, and he has another dream, and Max shows up.
Remember that person?
Remember that guy who died?
Jace doesn't.
Remember that child who was killed in the previous book? He's only mentioned once or twice throughout this entire book, and one of them is because he comes as an illusion made by Lilith.
To tempt Jace.
Because, again, what is grief? Grief isn't a thing.
Is that a human emotion? I don't know.
Grief is too human.
I'm a shadow hunter. I don't feel emotions.
I'm a shadow hunter. I don't care if children die.
I'm a shadow hunter.
I'm a shadow hunter.
Yes, Max comes as an illusion to tempt Jace into giving him some of his blood. And isn't it? He takes blood from him.
No.
Fuck, I'm wrong.
Max comes and appears to Jace as an illusion and says, "You're hurting Clare, you dick.
Oh yeah.
You're hurting Clare.
Because Max cares.
Cut yourself." And he's just like, okay. So he cuts himself.
Oh my god! You're hurting Clare. I have problems! I would apologize to the cutters out there, but I won't. You're idiots. I don't care. But, yeah. Problems.
So he cuts himself, and then he might use the blood. I'm not sure but then Lilith is like, haha, it's not Max, it's me, Lilith. And it convinces him to, like, draw I'm not sure if it's a rune or a
rune
on his chest that puts him under Lilith's control. So basically, he's under Lilith's control.
Briefly, we were actually talking about this earlier. It was Max who convinced him to do this. There wasn't much said about Max in regards to Jace other than he admired him. But even Aaron brought up the time, why wasn't it Clare?
Yeah.
What is that in the guilt?
It's supposed to be someone who he cares about to convince him, oh yeah, this is legit, I'll do it.
Okay, so Clare, but also, why wasn't it Alec? We come back to, as we always do, parabatai.
I just said, like, if Alec had a show came up to him as an illusion and said, here, Jace, do this, Jace would have been like, no.
Here, Jace, cut yourself. No, you cut yourself.
Like, I'm not going to listen to you, Alec, my parabatai, who is my best interest at heart.
Completely and utterly there for me whenever I need him, but if he
at my beck and call.
If he needs me, I'm like, well, I can't help you. Why are you asking this of me?
Yeah. But, like, so if there had been more description into the grieving process for Max, it would have made more sense that Max showed up and said, this is what you have to do. But there wasn't. And then I think there is a mention of it being quieter because Max isn't around or something like that. But you're like, okay, you gonna develop on that? No.
Burn a little bit, maybe just one freaking sentence of Isabel crying in her room, going to her parents and finding them crying, shouting at each other because they blame one another.
Even if it was something like,
we're getting back into this.
Alec, I would believe that maybe Alec, the way Alec deals with things is that he sort of tries to put the pain on himself. So he, even if it described like Isabel like walking past like the training room and Alec is like friggin' beating a punch bag bloody, or something like that. Great, anything, anything at all. But because this mentioned, it feels kind of sudden that, like, it's Max appearing to Jason being like, you have to do this, because you don't feel the same impact, because you didn't really get to see much of their grief or their upset. Like, if it had been described how upset and how devastated they were by Max's death, when Max shows up, it would have impacted the reader as well.
Because they could have connected to that kind of emotion. Actually, bringing back to that, he's having nightmares about fucking Clare. Why isn't he having nightmares about Max getting murdered?
Because I think the point is that the demonic influence wants him to hurt Jace.
If only.
I think the demonic influence wants him to hurt Clary, because Clary is still alive.
I know, but like, ugh.
But yeah, basically, it would have had more of an impact if we had more of a description of the grieving process for Max, because then when Max shows up, it would have punched us in the heart. And I'll even admit, in City of Heavenly Fire, I think it is, when Isabel has her dream world and Max is there, I felt a little sad, but not enough for it to be like, oh my god, you know?
Do you know when one of those moments where something happens, you have to close the book for a moment to let that sink in?
Yeah.
And just be like, oh fuck, I wasn't ready for that. Whether it be cringy, even with cringy, you still feel it.
Yeah.
But this kind of emotion, but again, we've been over this a million times, there's no human emotion in these books outside that of the body. So, no point getting into this rant again.
Yeah. So, basically, he has this rune on his chest now, and he is controlled by Lilith. So he escapes, and then we have the engagement party.
Oh yeah, remember Luke and Jocelyn? Yeah, they're engaged.
They're engaged now. Oh dear God! Right, here we go. Malec is on holiday. They were on holiday. Malec were on holiday. At the start of the book, they went, oh yeah, Magnus Malec went away on holiday because to help Alec get away or something like that from everything that's happened. And you're like, okay, I guess. And they get sent pictures and everything of their holiday, which I suppose is nice. But the way Cassandra Clare described this, she wrote recently that she sent them away on holiday because they weren't letting her write gay relationships still. In 2011, when this book was published, they still weren't allowing her to write gay relationships. So she didn't write them. She sent them off on a holiday in the hopes of returning later to write it when she was able to in a more accepting world. Bullshit!
Complete BS.
I'm sorry, bullshit! No!
Lies.
Complete and utter lies. You know what it is, Cassandra? Maybe they didn't want to writing Magnus and Alec fucking, which, compared to the fact that every other character is allowed to be written fucking, is pretty homophobic. But you didn't have to write them that way. I know, it's awful. If in a homophobic world, it is fucking awful that they would not let you write two men being intimate. They wanted you not to do it. But that did not fucking mean that you had to send them off on holiday. They could still have done something separate from their relationship with each other. Because again, it's not all about them being together.
But Erin, they're not two separate people.
No, they're just a Malec blob.
That's all they are. They are just the token gay guys.
They're off on holiday together, so
I don't have to write them.
On the thin veil, all the people who are into yaoi and love the relationship will go, oh, they're on holiday together. But when you think about it deeper, oh, they're on holiday together. They don't get fucking written for half the book.
But don't worry, you can buy the book with their holiday!
At the end of the year, the Book of the White is coming out, which will describe their first time together, which it is speculated was during the time they were in Paris during their holiday. So, for another book, aside from the Bane Chronicles, which had more of their stuff in it, you could read what happened on their holiday and when they did it for the... Oh wait, no, you can't read the time they did it for the first time. You have to buy a separate story that Cassandra's writing for charity that will not be in the Book of the White that is coming out at the end of the year and is not in the Bane Chronicles.
Some more lies!
Oh my lord! And I will admit, it's 2017. Homophobia isn't completely dead, but there is more literature with gay characters in it, and gay characters are allowed to be more gay. Most recently, and I was actually surprised by this, most recently a show called American Gods, I think it is, was hailed because it showed the first graphic on-screen sex scene between two men. The way you would see with women, and a man and a woman, like, you know, like, it's a really mature show, so you got to see, like, all of it, like, penis and stuff, and they got hailed for it, because finally we we get to see, like, something like that has never been done before. Normally it's like, oh, the covers are pulled over, or something like that. So we are in a more accepting world now. So it kind of makes it seem, oh, maybe she was right. Maybe she wasn't allowed to write the graphic stuff. And I would believe maybe she wasn't allowed to write the graphic stuff. But that did not mean that she had to shove them off on holiday. Alec could have had plenty of things he could have been doing in the Institute during this. Magnus had plenty of things. He is the High Warlock of Brooklyn. He has tons of clients he could be attending to.
The plot.
They could be helping the plot. They could be helping the investigation with demonic children. Yeah, it's cute they're away on holiday, and I suppose it's cool for the people who still like Cassandra Clare's writing that they'll get to see what they did on holiday. But this excuse that she wasn't able to write them, so she sent them off on holiday, is basically Clare saying, I wasn't allowed to write them fucking, I don't want them here.
Doesn't that say a lot about her as a writer? Like, they can't be two individual characters doing individual things to help the plot move along. Alec's a good shadow hunter, as she said.
No, he's not. Alec is described as, he hasn't killed a demon by the time he's 18. He hasn't done this. He hasn't done that. Jace is better than him. Jace is better than him. Oh, did you know Jace is much better than Alec? Simon is even better at archery than Alec.
Okay, well...
Like, he isn't even written as an adept shadow hunter. He is just there.
Worse than Jace.
He's just... We just must be constantly reminded. He is Jace's Parvati, but he is not as good as Jace.
Because Jace is the god.
The only person who finds Alec attractive is Magnus, which is kind of questionable because Magnus, in the books, I'm talking about solely in the books, Magnus is, however old he is, 500 years plus. Alec was 17 when they first met.
Yeah, come on, guys, that kind of.
Of course, in the show,
Hemophobia?
he's the it's
Hemophile? Is that what they're called?
I can't remember. You can, like, I don't like the Magnus being as a predator like excuse, because Alec does eventually turn 18 in the book's lore, but people argue it a lot more that Magnus is a predator in the show, which doesn't make sense because everyone is bumped up. Clare actually turns 18 at the start of the show instead of turning 16, which means if she is turning 18, Alec has to at least be...
Like 19, maybe?
19, 20, 21,
yeah.
22. I mean, Matthew Daddario, who plays him, is at least 29. So...
Fuck.
Yeah, I know. So the guy who plays Magnus is like 34.
Really?
Yeah! So... They're all...
Why do they all look so good? Fuck him.
They're all, the ages are bumped up in the show, so it makes less sense to argue that he's a predator. I'm actually going to make a video on this at some point because the book stands argue, a very popular booktuber argued that Magnus is acting like a predator on the show, but they never bring up that in the books, when Magnus first meets Alec, Alec has to be 17, because when they are dating in the Bane Chronicles, Alec turns 18 for his birthday. His 18th birthday happens in the Bane Chronicles while they're dating, which means that he must have been 17 when they met, which, no matter which way you spin it, means that Alec was still a minor. Even more so because you're not counted as an adult in America until you're 21 years old. So
Book Magnus is more predator than the show. Whatever way people want to argue it, whatever way they want to twist it so that their theories match the facts rather than facts theories.
Alec
Facts
was a minor
theories.
in the books. Yeah. Alec is a minor, which just makes it even more kind of creepy that Cassandra is so desperate to write them fucking.
But again, we come back to the woman who is okay with a man who ruined your life getting back together, okay with fucking your brothers, okay with any kind of twisted shit she's been writing there upon, so...
But the point is that Alec is not a good shadow hunter. No one finds him attractive apart from Magnus. And I will admit, the descriptions in the Bane Chronicles that Magnus has to describe Alec are very in-depth eventually, but there's stuff that you should have gotten in the original books. And then again, when you think this kid is 17, it becomes a bit, like, uncomfortable. But, so basically, yeah, she sent them away on holiday and then said, oh, it's because I wasn't allowed to write them. You weren't allowed to write them fucking. You could have written them doing something besides their relationship with each other. Because yes, we want more gay relationships, more representation of the LGBT
But that's
community.
not all they are.
Yeah, they have to be people. Like, I can't believe we have to, like, even talk about that. They
It's-
have to be people.
They have to be their own people. It doesn't matter how much you can write someone's like she does. You can write someone being as in love with the person as you want. And as much as I hate to say it, Clare and Jace are still their own people.
Yeah.
They're not good people. They're not well developed, but they're still. You can distinguish one person from the other. They don't always have to be, as much as they are, attached at the hip. Yeah, so Clare and Jace still their own people, but Malec. See, that's my point.
Agnes Brown.
Malec and Agnes again.
To the Queen of
So,
Dublin.
I'm getting both of their shit names rather than fucking their names. That's kind of proving my point before I even make it. Magnus and Alec aren't allowed to do their own individual things because they're gay, and if they're gay, they have to be gay with each other all the time, but they can't actually be gay together all the time, because if they're gay together all the time, people get offended,
and the books wouldn't get published.
Yeah. These popular books aren't going to get published. On the 4th book that was made because they were so popular, because people wanted more, you idiots, they made another one, but they wouldn't publish it if they were gay together, because that makes so much sense. We get Casserole likes having her token gay characters, but like it's ridiculous. And when she does eventually have Alec and Magnus as their own characters, oh my god, does she rip them apart? Like, they aren't even their own characters. They're completely different ones. Like,
in Fallen Angels, they do become very OCC, but we will get to that. Mm-hmm. My point in this is that Cassandra used the excuse that she sent them away on holiday because she wasn't allowed to write them together as a couple. So she thought, if I send them away, I can come back and write it later in a more accepting world. Which works in theory, but it just brings a problem now for why she couldn't have just written them not doing lovey-dovey things. I know a lot of people like live for Malec, they want to see lovey-dovey things, but even if you wrote them holding hands or hugging or doing something, that is not the same as having them humping. So I doubt that they would have not published your book if you had written them doing their own individual things, their own jobs, helping out, being helpful and doing things, showing Alec's grief for his little brother being dead instead of going off on holiday with his boyfriend, and then Keith went back and maybe wrote deleted scenes or something of them like being intimate or something. Like, I understand Alec probably went and spent a lot of time with Magnus to cope with his grief. I'm fine, I can understand that. You know, go to the arms of someone who you can talk to and all that crap. But not on holiday. Like, they literally don't come back until halfway through the book. Hold on, I'm gonna find where they come back. They come.
Always Google it.
Don't come back until page 258 out of 400. Legitimately halfway through this book, Magnus and Alec come back from their holiday. And the holiday was interrupted because Simon was part of a plot to have Camille kidnapped by the Clave, because Camille is obviously a bad vampire. So the Clave kidnapped Camille, and she's just like, I'm only going to talk to Magnus. So they're like, shit, we're going to have to get Magnus and Alec back. So they do, and there's this whole thing saying, like, Isabel was raging for some reason. She was like, they were going to go to the opera. And you're like, Isabel, what?
Okay.
She's like, I'm so angry he's interrupted them. They were going to go to the opera. And you're like, Isabel, what the hell? Like, are you
Isabel right now? Have you gone out of character as well?
The whole joke is that Isabel is, like, the main Malec shipper or something like that, but...
Okay.
If they're gonna, like, if they need them, then, you know, that's just the way it is. Tough tits interrupt your holiday. Why the fuck are you on holiday when all this shit is happening anyway? Like, it's just tough. And so Alec goes, hey, why does she only want to talk to you? And, ladies and gentlemen, Magnus reveals, she was my girlfriend. So, it's not hard to believe, because Magnus is obviously 500 plus years old, that he dated
Everyone.
He dated a lot of people. So it's not hard to believe that Camille was one of them. Which you would think Alec, as an 18 to 19-year-old, hardened, mature Shadowhunter, you think he would understand that. No.
Think again.
Think again, idiot. So that brings us back to Jocelyn's party. And at Jocelyn's party, oh my god. If you've watched my video for episode 5, I think it is, of Shadowhunter Season 2A, I read out the passages where Alec is blatantly biphobic to Magnus. I even wrote down the pages. Hold on. I wrote down the pages in case I got anyone saying to me, this didn't happen, this isn't real, blah blah blah.
I have proof!
I have proof. Alec's biphobia in City of Fallen Angels. Just in case the book stands get on your back again. That's exactly what I wrote. Pages 304 and 305. Let's delve into pages 304 and 305 then and see exactly what was written.
And this is the woman who was praised for being, you know, the martyr for LGBT. Biphobic.
Page 304. I've read this out before.
But again.
Page 304. Good organisation, said Magnus. I knew the man who founded it back in the 1800s. Wolsey Scott, respectable old werewolf family. Alec made an ugly sound in the back of his throat. Did you sleep with him too? Magnus's cat eyes widened. Alexander! Well, I don't know anything about your past, do I? Alec demanded. You won't tell me anything. You just say it doesn't matter. Oh, right. Magnus's face was expressionless, but there was a dark tinge of anger to his voice. Does this mean every time I mention anyone I've ever met, you're going to ask if I had an affair with them? Alec's expression was stubborn, but Simon couldn't help having a flash of sympathy. The hurt behind his blue eyes was clear. Maybe.
Oh, it's like when people get together with someone and they're bitch about them ever being with anyone ever before them. Like, they get really upset. How dare you be with someone before you knew me?
Page 305 gets worse.
Great.
Yeah. Alexander, said Magnus coldly, and Clary met Simon's eyes across the table. Hers were wide green and full of an expression that said, uh-oh. You can't be rude to everyone who talks to me. Alec made a wide sweeping gesture. And why not? Cramping your style, am I? I mean, maybe you were hoping to flirt with Werewolf Boy here. He's pretty attractive, if you like the messy-haired, broad-shouldered, chiseled good-looks type. Hey now, said Jordan madly. Magnus put his head in his hands. Or there are plenty of girls here, since apparently your taste goes both ways. Is there anything you aren't into?
And there we have it, folks. Alec being a bitch.
Yeah, Alec being a friggin' OCC little bitch who
is a bitch.
Yeah, these books are known for pioneering LGBT representation in literature in modern day YA books. And we have a character here, one of the gay characters, one of the characters that are part of the LGBT community, being blatantly biphobic to his bisexual boyfriend.
She has so many homophobic characters in here, she couldn't even have one of them do this kind of thing. No, it's the boyfriend who we should love and trust. Alec becomes such a little bitch in these books. Like I said before, getting on Magnus's back, who is so many years older than him, for having a past.
And people do argue, there are excuses that people come up with for this. They say, Alec is young, Alec is inexperienced, Alec has never been in a relationship before, Magnus won't tell Alec anything. As I've said in my other video, these are very stupid excuses. For one thing, Alec is at least 18 here. Alec hasn't been in a relationship until now. Alec is inexperienced. Let's take this with a real life example. I'm 18 years old. I've never been in a relationship. I'm inexperienced. I'm not fucking biphobic. That's not how it works. I'm sorry. Inexperience does not equal being a fucking moron about
these kind
being
of things.
Bisexual. Like,
you're not going to go up to whatever kind of relationship you're in, be like, oh, so you're just gonna fuck everyone because it's not like you're in a real relationship with me which has commitment and love and everything that a relationship entails. No, you're just gonna bang and flirt with everyone.
Think of it this way. If you dated someone, if you were straight and you dated, like, if, for example, I'm a girl, if I dated a guy, but still, if I dated a guy and he had been in relationships before, I'm not gonna look at every woman and be like, did you go out with her, did you go out with her, did you go out with her, did you go out with her? No.
How does that sound in real life? That sounds ridiculous, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's the same for bisexual people. Just because they do go both ways. It is a term they say. They're like, I go both ways. I'm like a two-way street, that kind of stuff. They don't want everyone.
It's like when people say, oh, you're gay, so you must be attracted to every girl you see. You must be attracted to every boy you see.
No,
just
no.
It's like Aaron says, it's a very biphobic opinion, and I don't know, it could have been interesting if he developed from that.
Again, that is something I brought up, right? It's like, characters are allowed to be flawed. That is another argument that book stands have against the show. They claim that the fact that Alec isn't biphobic in Shadowhunters, it means that he is a perfect character. Because never mind the fact he got possessed and murdered Jocelyn, but, he's perfect. He's perfect. I mean, again, another point. In Shadowhunters, he tries to kill himself because he killed Jocelyn, but no, perfect. No problems there. They wanted him to be biphobic to Magnus so that he wouldn't be perfect. Characters are allowed to be flawed. This is something that people seem to don't understand. Characters are allowed to have problems with them. Characters are allowed to do things wrong. Characters are allowed to say things wrong and problematic, as long as they are recognised as wrong and problematic, not as if they're okay. These comments that Alec makes are never referred to again. He never apologises. He never realises what he said was really, really wrong. He does nothing. It's just swept under the carpet. I didn't notice when I first read these books that he even said anything wrong. That's how bad it is. I hadn't come out of the closet yet when I read these books, and yet I didn't notice that Alex said this stuff to Magnus. I thought it was okay. That's the impression that these books leave on preteens. They think, oh, it's okay to say that because it is never recognised as something that's wrong. And that's really bad because millions of people read these books, probably every day.
And if it's preteens, it's people who are known to sponge things up or what's that word?
Absorb?
No, I think it begins with S. Fuck, whatever. They pick up on these things because subtle is what gets it. Those are things that stick into you. So it's like with homophobia, it can be subtle, but that doesn't make it okay. It being in a way that you have to stop and just stupid comments like, yeah, if you're gay, it's like, oh, so you want to go with every guy out there. That's not, that doesn't make it right. That you can say that, like, in with you, oh, do you go with every girl you see?
No. See,
it's the same kind of concept, just
saying
it to your partner, who you're supposed to love and care for, and being, insulting to them. And people get triggered about everything nowadays. Everything you're being rude, but that actually is really, really insulting.
Yeah.
So
I mean, as I say, if it was recognised as a flaw, if Alec learned from it, I get Alec is naive and experienced. He has repressed his emotions for years. But he is someone who has been on the tail end of homophobia. So it's even hard to believe in the first place that he would consciously think that these comments are okay. And that's why he goes so out of character. Because Cassandra wanted to start building up this conflict between Malec that she could only get between them if she changed their makeup as a character, because I don't believe that someone like Alec, who has been scared of himself, scared of coming out, worried about what people would do or think if he came out to the fact that he was dating a down older male, I don't think that he would think that saying that kind of thing is okay. And I get that he probably doesn't think, oh, this is okay because they were arguing, but there's no apology there. And then people also argue, but Magnus won't tell him anything. So? Like, I get that Magnus does eventually say, oh yeah, here's a book with all the stuff that happened in my life, take it, read it, I trust you, and that's great, but it is never established how long Magnus and Alec, it doesn't establish how long Magnus and Alec are dating. It doesn't establish if they are at the point where Magnus would feel comfortable to tell Alec about all this stuff. But then we can't fully defend Magnus either, because Magnus's reason, we didn't discuss this in City of Glass, but the reason Magnus wasn't talking to Alec in City of Glass was because he wasn't happy with the fact that Alec hadn't come out of the closet yet.
Oh yeah, so Magnus should force Alec to come out before he's comfortable as well. You don't get to make conscious decisions about these things.
Magnus Bain adopted me on Tumblr had some stuff to say about Magnus and Alec, and they said, I can't be the only one that doesn't understand why Magnus and Alec went on a months-long trip around the world. Trust me, you're not. It doesn't have any relevance to... They actually wrote bullet points here, so get ready. It's like, it doesn't have any relevance to the story. Nothing important happens to them. It's never brought up again. It's only mentioned in this book when Izzy makes fun about it, and she makes fun of Magnus. 2, it seems to be only there so they aren't in the book. Again, something we've discussed. Clare was just like, oh, I didn't put them in, so I'd write them later, which of course, BS. Number 3, at what point have they been dating? For what, 3 weeks? Doesn't Alec's parents care that he's going away with the Downwelder, that he's only been dating for 3 weeks?
Nope.
No mention, he's just gone. 4, they both have jobs to do. They do, they both have fucking jobs to do. We've said this, they didn't have to go away, they could have done their fucking jobs.
But no.
5, you can't even say it's for drama, so they can't question Camille right away, because Camille spent the day or 2 days before Magnus arrives at the Institute. Nothing changes. Nothing at all. Also, what exactly does a High Warlock do? How does one become a High Warlock? Why is Magnus High Warlock of Brooklyn and not New York? None of this stuff is explained. None of this stuff, because it's not important enough. We're told that Magnus is the High Warlock of Brooklyn, but he can go off on holidays for ages.
And not be missed.
Because we don't know what it is he does. Clare never brings up what it is. He has clients who come and pay him to do magic for them. But apart from that, we don't really get a lot. And the Clave would call on Magnus to do magic for them as well, because he's the High Warlock. But again, apart from that, there's nothing. Like, we don't know what Magnus does, because it's not important enough to be mentioned. But all we get here in the biphobia is the fact that Clare had no fucking idea what she was writing. I'm sorry, I don't think that I personally don't believe that she wrote this going, ha ha ha, Alec is being biphobic, ha ha ha. I don't think that she purposely wrote.
It wasn't with malicious intent.
It wasn't with malicious intent, but I've always said this before, sometimes being unknowing of this is sometimes worse, because it makes her think that it's okay to say to a bisexual person that they want to sleep with everyone, when no.
I wouldn't touch casserole.
But it's never recognised as a flaw in Alec's character. Even when Magnus and Alec break up and then get back together, it is still never referenced that Alec said this. It is never referenced that Magnus tried to force Alec out of the closet. And it takes away from the scene where Alec kisses Magnus, because then all I can think about now is the fact that Magnus must have been constantly, just the fact that he wasn't talking to Alec must have been constantly pushing him out when he wasn't ready, because he kept thinking, Magnus isn't talking to me because he wants me to come out of the closet. He thinks I'm ashamed of him. I
better do what my boyfriend wants me to do, and not what I'm emotionally ready to do in this homophobic society.
I must come out.
My boyfriend wants me to, so I better do it.
Like, it literally takes away from everything that you would enjoy about Malec, to the point where there's barely anything left that you could like about it. Like, Magnus forces Alec to come out of the closet. Alec is biphobic. It is never mentioned or referenced as anything bad. And the reason that Alec becomes biphobic is because Camille, she finds out that he dated Camille. Did it not come up that Magnus was bisexual before now? Like, I mean, I thought it was kind of obvious from the start.
Magnus has too much of a life beforehand not to try every flavour, you know?
But no, apparently Alec didn't know until he said, oh yeah, Camille was my girlfriend.
So doesn't that even encourage as well that they really didn't know each other?
They really didn't, no. They didn't know each other, and yet they're together, like, for how long, and they know nothing about one another. But again, we don't see enough to even know if they knew enough about one another.
Or what they do know.
And Magnus has the gall to be like, you have to come out of the closet. And it's like, fine, tell me some stuff about your history. No. You're like, oh.
But you have to come out of the closet.
It doesn't, and then Camille also brings up Will Herondale later, which makes even more problems for City of Lost Souls, because Alec is a little bitch who can't handle the fact that Magnus is bisexual. It is fucking stupid.
Has had a life before him.
I mean, Magnus does reference multiple times throughout the series that Alec is special. He's never met anyone like Alec before, and he won't afterward, which is great. You know, he'll always have a special place for Alec, even when Alec dies. But I forgot where I was going with this.
He's immortal.
But he's immortal. So there probably will be people after Alec, which I don't like admitting, but there probably will be. But he probably will never have the same level of affection for someone than he does for Alec. But that isn't enough. That isn't enough for Alec. Alec would be the sort of person in these books that would go like, you can't love anyone once I'm gone. And you're like,
be celibate for the rest of your eternal life.
And you're like, oh my lord. And it doesn't feel like that's how Alec would get on. Like, for the first 3 books beforehand, it doesn't seem like Alec. Alec was supposed to be someone who was kind of stoic, didn't show his emotions a lot.
And now he's a whiny bitch.
Now he's a whiny little bitch dog from Tumblr who complains about every relationship that his boyfriend's been in. His eternal boyfriend who's been alive for who knows how long, the fact that he had relationships before him.
That fiend.
And again, for like the 3rd or 4th time, because it's extremely important, if it had been referenced as a problem, he realised it was a problem, and it was apologised for. If the both of them apologised, for fuck's sake, it would have been good. He was said, I'm sorry about how I acted, I'm sorry about what I said.
Done.
You know, people would know, okay, what he said wasn't right, it was wrong. But no, in these books that are hailed for being pioneers of the LGBT community, biphobia
is okay.
Biphobia by the gay man that the book is hailed for against the bisexual man that the book is hailed for. Where is the logic?
That's alright, because they're in love.
Logic does not exist in these books.
No.
I think we've already discussed this, but this is on an insane level. Nope. I have no words. I used most of my words in the video that I did where I talked about it. It's on my First Thoughts playlist, and it's called Why That Malec Scene Was So Important. Go look it up if you are curious about what else I said. But basically what this is saying, that it's okay to say to bisexual people, you want to sleep with everyone. Go to your nearest bisexual friend and be like, do you want to sleep with everyone? Because City of Fallen Angels told me it was okay to ask. Yeah, this video is going to have to be cut off here, so we'll talk about everything else in the next part, that conversation about Malec and biphobia. I knew it was going to drain me, but
we have more to go on to, and we must go on to it.
Yeah, but we're at the hour-and-a-half mark now, so we'll have to cut it off, and we'll make a part 2, so I'll see you in 2 weeks. Shadowhunters, Angels, and Darkmothers are like, and remember, biphobia is not okay.
It's not.
If you are biphobic, apologize now. Recognize your problematic behavior. Just do it. Don't be like Alec. Just do it.
Don't be like Casserole.
Don't be like Casserole writing Alec. Just do it.
Bye-bye.
Bye.